Get ready for the most explosive, never-ending marital nightmare on reality TV to erupt again, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta fans. A massive social media storm struck just when we seemed Kirk Frost and Rasheeda had at last found some peace. Indeed, Jasmine Bleu has returned to the spotlight, and the internet is in utter wonder. This time, she's not just talking in circles or offering cryptic hints. The Frost family business could be seriously harmed by the substantial receipts she is purportedly bringing. One crucial question is currently causing the entire digital world to tremble. Has Kirk Frost really once again violated Rasheeda's trust in private? What exactly made Jasmine Bleu break her long-standing quiet at this particular time, subjecting Rasheeda to yet another round of public humiliation? Fans are well aware of how poisonous, turbulent, and humiliating their public past was, especially with their son Cannon caught in the crossfire. But this isn't just another old child support problem. According to the gossip mill, it refers to new, long-kept secrets that have not yet been made public. The public is currently criticizing Rasheeda, who is well known for sticking with her boyfriend through good times and bad. Has Kirk truly gone too far this time? If you want to discover every delectable, unverified detail about the messiest triangle on reality TV, keep returning. You won't anticipate the significant turn of events that will occur. We need to look closely at the beginnings of a reality TV relationship that has pushed the boundaries of public acceptance for nearly a decade. To truly understand the scope of this most recent outburst, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta's stalwarts have been Kirk Frost and Rasheeda. Since the cameras started rolling, their union has been shown to the world for many years as a perfect, unbreakable partnership built on respect, business, and music. However, everything collapsed when Jasmine Bleu made her screen debut in that polished, well-produced film years ago. It was more than a typical reality TV marriage when Jasmine first revealed to everyone that she was expecting Kirk's child. Viewers were completely astounded, and the entertainment industry as a whole was shocked. Rasheeda was cruelly humiliated on national television for a number of seasons, forcing viewers to see agonizing events that included dramatic DNA tests, public denials, and disastrous encounters. Millions of people watched it every week as the main narrative element, but it was the kind of public humiliation that most people would never get over. Rasheeda chose to genuinely forgive herself despite intense pressure from fans who practically urged her to leave with dignity. She made the deliberate decision to restore her house, maintain her composure, and finally welcome Cannon, Kirk's youngest son, into their family. For a very long time, the people sincerely assumed that the worst of the storm had finally passed. The pair focused on their incredibly successful retail pursuits, their well-blended family, and their well-known press boutiques. They presented a completely unified front to the world, suggesting that deep, genuine healing had taken place behind the scenes. As they gradually moved past the previous controversies, the public admired Rasheeda for her exceptional grace, unmatched resilience, and quiet strength under strain. But as we all too well know, peace is often only a temporary illusion in the volatile and unpredictable world of celebrity culture before a far larger storm strikes. The relative calm around the Frost home quickly disappeared when Jasmine Bleu decided to break her long-standing silence. This most recent attack went beyond a covert passive-aggressive suggestion or a cryptic statement on a random Instagram story late at night. This obvious and censored online attack stunned the entire internet. Jasmine's sudden, turbulent reappearance in the headlines has quickly rekindled old fires and sparked new anxieties for everyone concerned, notably Rasheeda, who sincerely believed that this challenging chapter of her life was over. This latest round of violent disturbance is reported to have been sparked by a number of very specific comments and digital traces that Jasmine supposedly made public. According to screenshots and insider information circulating on social media, Jasmine is openly claiming that the whole television plot around their co-parenting relationship is fictitious, asserted that strict restrictions had protected Kirk's marriage, and that he had been a capable single father for many years. However, Jasmine is portraying what transpired from a very different, darker perspective now that the cameras have stopped filming. She makes a clear indication that she and Kirk never discuss parenting-related topics in private. The unexpected allegation of repeated long-term manipulation is the most damaging and destructive aspect of Jasmine's recent remarks. She explicitly asserts that Kirk has spent years playing both sides, attempting to maintain the idealized portrayal of a loving, contrite husband on television while simultaneously ensuring Jasmine stayed entirely silent in the background through dishonest financial arrangements and false promises. This specific charge cuts right to the heart of Rasheeda's massive public sacrifice. If these bold claims are accurate, Rasheeda's life today was founded on persistent dishonesty. The internet did what it does well when these absurd rumors started to get a lot of traction on several blogs. It began ruthlessly dissecting every prior conversation in an effort to find any clues that would bolster Jasmine's most recent claims. The comment sections of Rasheeda's personal social media sites quickly turned into a war of opposing opinions. Rasheeda is now again the focus of intense public attention due to her husband's alleged behavior, which has led numerous admirers to express sincere sorrow and profound unhappiness. Others were much harsher, openly questioning why she had stayed at all, considering that the past would still haunt her in the future. The emotional toll that this prolonged situation has on Rasheeda cannot be overstated. Nobody should have to live with the anxiety of having their private life, marriage choices, and sense of dignity examined for the second time by millions of complete strangers. Over the years, Rasheeda has worked hard to transition from a reality star to a renowned fashion designer and entrepreneur. She wanted her success as a businesswoman to be the sole thing that would define her immortal legacy, rather than her partner's relentless, brutal adultery. This sudden, explosive reappearance of drama could completely overwhelm her achievements and pull her back into the boring tale of the rejected wife. People close to Love and Hip Hop's production claim that this unanticipated disagreement has resulted in an exceptional level of animosity behind the scenes. Reality TV relies heavily on conflict, and producers are looking for a scandal like this to increase audience. However, it is a living, breathing nightmare that never seems to end for people who are actually going through it. The timing of these accusations is said to have slightly embarrassed Rasheeda, especially since she was concentrating only on expanding her commercial interests and taking advantage of a unique moment of personal peace. Jasmine's current position is far riskier than her earlier rants because it clearly suggests hard proof. In the era of social media, assumptions are incredibly cheap without proof. However, Jasmine has asserted that she has text messages, call logs, and financial records to back up her claims about Kirk's secret life. She puts Kirk's painstakingly restored image in jeopardy by presenting herself as someone who has nothing left to lose. If she decides to make these alleged receipts public, Kirk's image could be permanently damaged. Rasheeda will eventually face a lot of pressure to decide whether or not to be married. His primary strategy in the past was to minimize and deny everything. Eventually, he and his spouse took control of the story by using reality TV's massive platform. How Kirk Frost will handle this nightmare is the urgent question that arises after the initial wave of this major controversy becomes deeply ingrained in the public mind. However, that antiquated strategy may no longer be effective because Jasmine addresses the public directly on her own platforms. There is a tangible sense of unease as the scene is ready for a catastrophic collision. What each of these three individuals does next will determine whether the marriage lasts or eventually falls because of the weight of prior misdeeds. The Frost family is perched precariously on a massive cliff. As public pressure approaches a dangerous boiling point and suspicions about Kirk Frost deepen, the atmosphere surrounding him has transformed into one of pure, unadulterated panic. For a man who has spent the past few years painstakingly reconstructing his public character from a wild reality TV villain to a responsible, helpful businessman and family patriarch, Jasmine's sudden verbal assault poses a serious threat to his means of subsistence. Kirk reportedly reacted behind closed doors in a frantic, desperate attempt to deal with the ramifications before the news was picked up by major media outlets as an undeniable fact. Kirk's primary defending strategy in the past has been to wait for the first online outrage to subside before acting on his own terms, usually in the strictly regulated environment of a television studio. However, given how drastically the internet landscape has changed over time, Jasmine's straightforward and proactive approach is making the custom of ignoring the problem completely unfeasible. Industry sources think that Kirk has been busily seeking to contact Jasmine via several intermediaries in an attempt to defuse the problem before his reputation is irrevocably tarnished. His camp seems to be trying to pinpoint the exact source of this sudden, unexpected outburst. After months of peaceful co-parenting and seeming cooperation, Kirk is motivated by more than just the prospect of his marriage dissolving. It is the real danger to his earning potential right now. Over the years, Kirk and Rasheeda have negotiated incredibly significant brand deals, paid appearances, and corporate sponsorships due to their combined marketability as a well-known reality TV power couple. Business partners who don't want to be involved in awkward public dramas may get completely alienated by this type of adulterous controversy. And the next stage of this strange situation is precisely motivated by that fear of money. Kirk's financial worry is driving him into total desperation as he tries to safeguard his last possessions, setting up the next phase of this chaotic calamity. Financial advisors and legal teams are on high alert because the atmosphere in their Atlanta home seems to have completely imploded. Who did what is no longer a relevant question. This full-fledged battle over a kingdom worth millions of dollars could be resolved with a single, well-timed revelation. Jasmine Bleu is playing her cards with terrifying accuracy and is fully aware of her power in this situation. As Kirk tries to build a defense wall, information about what Jasmine Bleu is threatening to unleash starts to surface on underground websites, making the Frost family even more nervous. Jasmine has told her fans that any contracts, non-disclosure agreements, or unwritten agreements that previously prevented her from speaking are no longer in place. She has told close friends that years' worth of digital receipts in her archives paint an entirely different picture of their marital dynamics. According to sources monitoring the situation, these alleged receipts include incredibly long text message threads in which Kirk allegedly speaks poorly of his public image while expressing a strong, ongoing desire to establish a parallel relationship with Jasmine. Furthermore, there are clear indications of financial records, such unauthorized digital payments and secret bank transfers, which Jasmine claims were carried out to safeguard her outside financial security. And she doesn't want to be in the heart of a degrading marital conflict again. The network executives and the cast members are clearly at odds as each tries desperately to protect their own interests in the face of an impending PR disaster. Rasheeda feels even more duped considering how much she sacrificed her life and feelings to make up for Kirk's earlier sins. When she originally made the important decision to allow young Cannon into her life and home, she clearly thought that the boundaries between Kirk and Jasmine were completely professional, legal, and focused on the child's care. For the sake of genuine family unity, she swallowed her immense pride, disregarded the constant harsh criticism from social media users, and presented a branch of peace. Finding out that these limits may have been routinely and flagrantly violated behind her back is a psychological blow that goes beyond typical marital conflict. For a proud, successful lady like Rasheeda, it is hard to believe that the world views her prior generosity as utterly ridiculous. The current atmosphere in the Frost home, according to close associates, is a cold, unsettling silence that frightens anyone who walks in. Rasheeda allegedly distanced herself from Kirk both physically and emotionally. Even though she is processing the seriousness of these mounting accusations on her own, she is not defending her husband this time or making cliched remarks to appease the media blogs. Her famous patience has finally run out, as Kirk and the rest of the world can see from her immobility. Kirk's confidence in his ability to skillfully negotiate his way out of difficult circumstances has entirely disappeared, and he feels vulnerable and alone as he waits for Jasmine's next move. The stakes in the marriage have never been higher. Additionally, it becomes increasingly clear that Kirk is no longer in charge of the narrative when reality creeps in. The uncomfortable reality that the Frost family is today facing is that some differences are simply too profound to be covered up by celebrity, wealth, or previous compromises. An important historical turning point in this tenure story was Rasheeda's amazing decision to remain completely silent and emotionally distant in the face of Jasmine Bleu's most recent accusations. For years, Rasheeda took a stand on camera, and the public grew accustomed to it. Whether it was by confronting her husband, asking for a physical separation, or eventually coming forward to announce that they were working together to find a solution to their issues, she always had something to say. Her total silence this time, though, is deafening to her fans. It lets everyone know that, in private, a psychological breaking point has finally been reached. She no longer wants to engage in desperate damage control for a man who puts her in the unpleasant spotlight of marital instability all the time. Kirk is completely exposed to the weather now that his wife's forgiveness is no longer a barrier. Supporters used to refrain from criticizing Kirk because they respected Rasheeda's decision to stay and maintain her marriage. However, Kirk must face the full, unadulterated rage of public opinion on his own without Rasheeda's assistance to support his rehabilitation. The online community has shown Rasheeda a lot of support and wants her to realize that her loyalty shouldn't cause her to suffer emotionally for the rest of her life. Her identity and her kingdom are no longer dependent on the duration of a compromised marriage because of the growth of online support. She has developed a powerful, self-sufficient personal brand. She also understands that a clean divorce may be required to preserve her challenging legacy. Every time Rasheeda thinks about her options, she is reminded by the couple's massive financial empire. An empire that is seriously threatened right now. They are not merely a husband and wife. They are close business partners and have several assets in common. From collaborative TV deals and entertainment ventures to real estate holdings and high-end fashion boutiques like Press, their resources are intertwined. A divorce or legal separation that is widely reported would be more than just a personal tragedy. It would start an ugly and intricate legal battle over a kingdom worth millions of dollars. When a couple's brands are so similar, separating the assets can significantly lower their combined market value, leaving each of them with far less than what they started with, according to financial experts in the entertainment industry. Kirk appears to be aware of this dire financial situation and is keen to avoid a permanent legal split at all costs. He understands that without Rasheeda's impeccable reputation, loyal fanbase, and commercial appeal, his own marketability would sharply drop.